Hi and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Cassia. On this channel we discuss all aspects of the ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. Before we get started, I just want to say real quick that if you are enjoying this video, if you do enjoy my videos in general, please hit that like button. That helps to get the video out to more people, to get this information out there, and it is very, very much appreciated. Like, share, subscribes, all of that really, really helps this channel to continue to grow. So I'm just throwing out that disclaimer, very much appreciated. Hit that like button right now so you don't forget, and we're going to get right into it. We are talking today about the new moon in Libra. And so this moon is happening at 24 degrees of Libra on the 16th of October 2020. And this is a really interesting new moon because it is the midpoint between the two full moons that we have this month. We had the first full moon at the beginning of the month, and we have a second full moon on October 31st, Halloween, which is going to be so intense and powerful, happening on that day, right, when the veil is the thinnest. And so I'm really excited for that video, but right now we're gonna stay present in this video, right, where we're talking about this midpoint here. This is like the check-in point. If you guys watched the 1010 portal video, which I do suggest anyone that didn't go and watch, because we talk about the energy of the entire month of October, right? It's this Phoenix energy, this energy of transformation, this energy of initiation, right? And so this is a check-in point, not just for this month, but really for the second half of 2020, to see how we're doing, to see what we need to fine-tune, right, as we set those intentions for the rest of the month and the rest of the year and beyond. Like, how have we, especially when it comes to our empowerment, right? This has been a major focus throughout this second half of 2020. Our empowerment, our ability to fully actualize ourselves, right? To go after what it is that we want to achieve, what it is that we want to achieve, and what has been standing in the way of that we're ready to release and transmute and transform, right? That's the Phoenix. And so this is that check-in point, that time to really look at that, to look also at the things that Libra represents, right? So Libra represents fairness, it represents balance, it represents harmony, especially in terms of relationship, right? And so relationships are, once again, going to be a main focus, and not just our relationships with others, but our relationships with ourselves and also our relationships with our own minds. We have Mercury, which is going retrograde. Mercury stations retrograde on the 14th and begins moving retrograde on the 15th. And so one day later, we have this new moon. And so we're going to be feeling that energy very intensely as well, I believe. And Mercury is opposing Uranus. So this is very intense energy. This is highly stimulating energy, right? Mercury in Scorpio, it retrograde, right, is going deep. We're digging deep into the subconscious. Check out that video as well for more information on that. That just went out last week. Really intense energies that we're going to be experiencing with that. And there is going to be a need for freedom, right? Uranus represents freedom. It represents thinking outside the box. It represents new and inventive ways of doing things. And so when it comes to our mental processes, we're really going to be looking at what is holding us back, right? And where are we willing to set ourselves free? Where are we willing to liberate ourselves, to liberate our minds? And so that energy is very much in focus as well during this new moon, and really throughout this month of October into the beginning of November. So we always want to be keeping that in the back of our minds, because that's huge right now. And our empowerment in general, right? We have a T-square going on that has already moved into formation as I am shooting this video. It is the 13th today, right? And so this is pretty intense. We have the sun and the moon, which are always conjunct during a new moon. And so if I mention the sun or the moon during this video, understand that I'm mentioning both, that I'm referencing both of them, because they are right on top of each other. So we have our conscious and our subconscious, right? Our emotions and our logic, right? The ego and the intuition, right on top, melded, blended together, which working synergistically. And then they are being challenged, right? This is there's a lot of challenging aspects to this new moon by different planets. We have Mars loosely conjunct Eris that is opposing the sun and the moon. And then we have Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter all squaring all of these planets, right? So that's what creates the T. And we have Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto, which are the focal point of this connection. And so we have this, when we have the Libran energy, it is about harmony, it is about balance, it is about relationships, harmony and balance, especially when it comes to relationship, when it comes to the way that we relate to others and the world around us, which we always understand is directly proportionate to the way that we relate to ourselves, because everything is that mirror. That's why it's about the self as much as the other when we're looking at that harmony and that balance that we're seeking, right? And so we are going to be torn between this desire with Mars and Aries, Eris and Aries, right? The warrior planets, right? The planets that represent the self and the actualization of the self. We're going to be thinking about and feeling, right? Because the moon is feeling this desire to move forward. What are our own goals? What are our ambitions, our dreams for our own life, right? How do we want to actualize those and move forward with those? And how does that balance out with the relationship, with our responsibilities to others? With that, how do we continue to have that harmony with others while at the same time not sacrificing the self and the needs and the desires and the wants of the self? And when we look at these three planets making this T-square, right? We're looking at how this is how we balance that out. So how can I compromise where compromise is necessary? How can I have these harmonious relationships while at the same time not sacrificing my personal power and autonomy? That's Pluto. My ethics, my values, my beliefs. That's Jupiter, right? And also honoring my responsibilities. That's Saturn. And also the lessons that I've learned, right? Saturn is lessons. Saturn is the planet that teaches us, that helps us to grow through structure, through routine, through karma, through all of these real world third dimensional aspects, right? And so we're looking at all of that different stuff and how those can play together, how we can remain strong in those aspects of self while still seeking that balance and that harmony. And during this new moon, for some, this may feel like a bit of a struggle. And so we want to be prepared for that. And we want to be prepared for the solutions to present themselves, right? If we are open to that. We want to honor ourselves, right? Our responsibility to ourselves as much as our responsibility to others. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, we do have responsibilities to others, right? But our ultimate responsibility is to ourselves. We came here to grow, to learn, to evolve. And so we evolve through our circumstances, through our relationships, right? But it's all about our personal evolution. And so where is our evolution feeling stunted? And what can we do to adjust that so that that is not the case? How can we evolve in perfect harmony with the world around us and with the people in our lives, right? What does that look like? How do we achieve that? Those are going to be the questions that are on a lot of our minds right now. And we're going to have this energy of Pluto and Saturn, especially. Like Jupiter magnifies everything. So Jupiter is just magnifying this energy and making it feel even larger than life. So serious, serious lessons in empowerment and in that check-in point of how far we've come. And so circumstances may come to us to sort of test that, to see how far it is that we've really come, to see how we are able to stand in our power, how we are able to navigate these situations while still holding on to our own personal autonomy. Yes. Just checking to see. Yeah, I think that's it, really. That's what's the most important. We want to be looking at Venus as well, because Venus is the ruler of this new moon, being that Venus rules Libra, the sign that the new moon is occurring in. And so that's where we get that partnership vibe, right? And so Venus is trine Jupiter and Pluto and opposing Neptune. So these trines are very pleasant. So that's going to be helpful. That's going to help bring a little bit more harmony and a little bit more synergy to what would otherwise be an extremely tense aspect. So we can thank Venus for that. And this opposition to Neptune, though, we want to watch out for that, because that can cause us to see things, to see through a little bit of a distorted lens. And so we want to be really careful with that. This is a time where we're really breaking through illusions, right? Where we are being cognizant and aware of where we may have been deluding ourselves, and we may have a deeper level of self-honesty that we achieve during this new moon, if we can utilize that energy of Virgo to see to the heart of matters, right? To really look at and take an honest and unbiased look at ourselves and the situations and our relationships and all of these aspects of our lives that are being brought up during this new moon. And I'm just going to pull up the chart here real quick so I can take a look and see if there's anything else that Yep, Uranus is trining the sun and the moon as well. So yeah, like there are some pleasant aspects that are rounding out this energy, so it's not quite so abrasive. So that is very beneficial, and we can be very grateful for that. All right. I'm going to do a couple Moonology cards to start us out today. New moon in Libra. What guidance do we have? What is going on for the new moon in Libra, October 16th, 2020? Keeping in mind that this could happen on or around the new moon. Like I said, we're in a lot of that energy already as far as some of those major aspects go. We have hold your vision, right? We talk about we're setting intentions, right, for this next cycle. This is a time where we are feeling probably very challenged. And so this is just a reminder to hold our vision. What is the vision that you are creating for yourself, for your life? What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? Hold strong to those. Do not allow yourself to be derailed by all of this intense energy. I'm feeling this, especially this energy moving through, and a reminder to us throughout Mercury retrograde season as well, to hold that vision. We're going to be challenged. We're going to be seeing things from different perspectives, right? And we can take all of that into account, but don't get discouraged as we deal with these incredibly tumultuous emotions that are coming up, right? Stay fixed on the end goal. Stay fixed, hold that vision for yourself and for your life. And then we have you and your loved ones are safe. This card comes up all the time, right? So especially when it comes to those of us who are wanting to create, we're worried about our families, we're worried about our home, perhaps. Like everyone, and this is that partnership energy too, right? It's not, Cancer is ruled by the moon, right? This is the energy of the moon. It's the energy of the mother, the home, all of that, right? But it is that relationship energy as well. So it's just like knowing that you and your loved ones are safe in whatever capacity that is. And if there are people that are in situations right now where you're trying to create that safety and that stability, hold your vision when it comes to that, because that is in the cards, right? that is achievable. Just stand firm to that and know with all of your heart and all of your soul that everything is safe, that everything is coming together. It's safe for you to be who you are, and at the same time also love and nurture your family. You can do both. And then we have the full moon in Cancer. A personal issue reaches resolution. So yeah, for those, there's the rest of it right there. For those who are concerned about this family situation, whatever this means to you, for some of you, this may not even be just loved ones. This could be like a physical living situation that you're concerned about. Whatever it is, there is a resolution. Whatever you have been struggling with in terms of this, whatever those fears were, they will be resolved. That solution will present itself as long as you hold your vision. And then confidence is your key to success. Whatever it is that you're doing, do it confidently. Do it knowing that you are absolutely 100% capable of whatever it is that you put your mind to. And I'm also feeling with this new moon in Leo card and this confidence is your key to success, just that entire energy of Leo, that open-hearted energy. Like we have a lot of, between the Cancer and the Leo energy here, we have a lot of that. Like Leo is that energy that wears its heart on its sleeve, right? Leo is very expressive. Leo is very in its highest expression, able to live their lives fully as who they are and really express themselves, express what they think, express how they feel. And so I feel like we're really being called to do that as well, to be fully expressive, fully in touch with our emotions, with our hearts, right? Leo is very much about the heart center, right? And opening up that heart center. So I'm feeling that as well. And then we have step out of your comfort zone, North Node. And we do have Venus as well. I didn't mention it, but we have another aspect that Venus is making during this moon here. Oh, I had it on the wrong day. Hold on. Involves the nodes. Venus is, I want to say trine. Yes. Nope. Somebody's aspecting the nodes heavily during this. Oh. Okay. Yeah. The sun and the moon here, because they are conjunct. Yeah, so they are aspecting the nodes pleasantly, trining and sextiling the nodes. And we also have Mars aspecting the nodes as well in a similar fashion. And so there is going to be a lot of energy around that, a lot of energy around what is old and outdated and what is new that we're ready to grow into at this point, right? And what do you need to release? So release the old, release that which is no longer serving you, release that which is no longer for your highest good. All those old, outdated ways of being and thinking and doing. We're being asked to move into the energy of the new right now with confidence, knowing that we are going to be successful with whatever it is that we choose to do, right? And really, it's going to require stepping out of that comfort zone. The Cancer energy is all about the comfort zone. And so for some, this may not even be just necessarily as strictly like a family situation or a living situation. It could be anything. Any place where you're overly comfortable and you're not willing to sacrifice that comfort for the unknown. You're being called to do that. Like, now is the time to do that. We can stay stagnant in our space of comfort, or we can move beyond that and push toward new heights, new dreams, new experiences, right? And that's what we're being called to do right now. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have full moon in Gemini. The answers you need are coming. The answers to whatever it is, that's that understanding, that energy of seeing from that higher perspective, right? That we're tapping into right now, that ability to do that. Like, wherever it is that you have been perhaps stuck stagnant in this comfortable energy because you didn't know, there was some sort of information that you felt like you needed to have before you could move forward, that information is coming. And that information may come in a simple knowing within yourself, a simple spark of inspiration or insight that you receive. And I want to do an Isis Oracle card as well and see what information Isis has for us regarding this new moon. I had, as I was looking at the step out of your comfort zone and what do you need to release, that phrase, what is it, a bird in the hand and one in the bush or whatever, just popped into my head. I'm not even sure exactly how that goes, but it's just like, it's what it's reminding me of is that old, it's actually, I guess it's not a saying, but it's an illustration where it shows this person holding on to this old ruffled up teddy bear, right? And they don't want to let it go because they love it so much and they're so used to it, and they don't know what they're going to get if they let go of that, right? That's their comfort, right? Talking about that comfort space. And then what they don't see is that behind the person's back that's reaching out their hand is a teddy bear way bigger than the one that they have in their hand, right? But they can't see and understand that there's something better waiting for them when they release what it is that they're clinging on to. They're clinging on because they're afraid that they'll have nothing. And really what Spirit is trying to give them is something way better. And so that's the energy that I think a lot of people are in right now. And that's why there are answers coming for some people, right? When it comes to certain things, when it comes to certain steps that need to be taken, right? But we're not going to get all the answers because we have to be willing to take that leap of faith as well. We don't get to know exactly how everything's going to play out. We get enough answers, we're given enough answers to help us to make informed decisions about what step to take next, but we're not given all of the answers because it's not designed that way. So if you're waiting for all the answers, you're going to be waiting for a really long time. All right, and we got the Knot of Isis, energetic stabilization with the Buckle of the Beloved. This card keeps coming out. It's really interesting. And so this is energy of connecting with the divine feminine, right? And the moon is a great time to do that. The moon is feminine in nature, right? We're talking about Luna. And so connecting with that feminine aspect of our natures right now. And stabilizing, I'm feeling like stabilizing our energy through connecting with our feminine essence, right? We have a lot of masculine energy going on right now. The masculine energy is going through a major upgrade right now, right? We felt that a lot with the divine feminine throughout the first half of 2020. The second half of 2020 is all about the divine masculine energy and the healing of that, the empowerment of that, the stepping into that, the refinement of that. And so we're being asked to balance that out where that needs to be balanced out by embracing our feminine side, right? Because that's how these energies work synergistically. One cannot exist and function harmoniously without the other. They take from the qualities of each other in order to be balanced, right? And this is a Libra moon. We're looking at balance and achieving that balance. And so we really want to be cognizant of that. And we want to tap into our intuitive side, right? Our feminine side, our emotional side, that receptive side, right? Like the masculine energy is the doing, the action, the forward motion. The feminine energy is the receptivity. It's the quiet. It's the inaction. And so we're being asked to step into that space, right? To become open to receive again, to soften ourselves up a little bit, to be compassionate, to be loving, to be gentle. And so any ways that you can work with the feminine side of your nature, you can work with goddesses, right? You could work with Isis. Any goddess type energies can really help to balance out those energies right now. Yes. And then on the bottom of the deck, that's so funny. We have the Brother in Darkness, overcoming negative energy with feminine power. And so that energy of tapping into our feminine power during this moon coming through strong. And I'm going to read that from the book for you guys. Okay. I love that. That's so perfect. All right. And it says, whenever negative energy is present, it is a sign that we are ready to move more deeply into our feminine divine power. The Brother in Darkness indicates that there is negative energy either within you or outside of you, but directed toward you that is providing you with a spiritual test, beloved initiate. You shall overcome this energy with grace and triumph. Stay in your heart. There is no need to be afraid. There is a test that you are currently moving through because you are ready to progress more deeply into wisdom, light, acceptance, and inner peace, right? This initiation energy that we've been feeling, this phoenix energy. The test is in the guise of a negative energy source, either within you or apparently outside of you. They say apparently, right? Because as within, so without. In truth, we are all one, and the world is our mirror for whatever healing task lies within. Even though sometimes the source of difficulty appears to be external, rather than an opportunity for us to gain mastery with our own responses through inner healing. Guidance comes to you in this oracle now to become more conscious of the negative energies either within or directed towards you without being fearful. There is no need for fear. There is just need for more conscious, loving response. In the story of Isis, the destructive emotions of her dark brother Set led to the murder of her beloved Osiris. He did not stop there. He also attempted to destroy her beloved divine son child and deny him his rightful rulership. Set teaches us that destructive emotions can gain awful power if we leave them unchecked and do not consciously respond to them. Isis teaches us that love, faith, persistence, courage, intelligent and honest awareness can overcome even the darkest power. Your guidance is to rise above fear, anger, jealousy, or hatred within you or directed towards you now. This will require your feminine strength to be fiercely compassionate and not to judge or resist out of fear. Compassion is great strength. It sees the truth in all situations and does not pander to lies or deceptions in order to paint everything as nice. Compassion is wisdom. It knows that a wolf can cause harm even if it is dressed as a sheep. You are guided to be attentive and honest about negative influences within or directed towards you without judging them or their source, or paying undue attention with fear. That's very important. Or paying undue attention with fear. You simply need recognition and then respond with compassion and clear, loving, firm boundary. This boundary will very often be an internal shift energetically for you. It may not require any further action than this. Listen to your heart and trust in your guidance. You are guided, however, to respond now and check the growth of any negativity before it becomes more consuming than it needs to be. This oracle also comes as a spiritual revelation. Part of your spiritual path is to honor the darkness as a way through to greater consciousness, to not fight against darker and potentially destructive emotions with force, but to allow them to be with compassion, instantly removes the resistance that creates psychic glue and causes darker energies to get stuck within us. Ooh, that's deep. Trust your feminine values, whether man or woman, and don't believe for one moment that you are obliged to wear another's negativity for them. You are not. You may stand true in your purity of heart and be safe. If you do have negative energy rising within you, the same stands true. Have compassion and witness it, but don't believe that you have to identify with it. It is not you. It is just energy and feeling. Let it flow and it shall go. I like that. I think I'm going to use that from now on. Let it flow and it shall go. And so I like this because it talks about, I really like this idea of psychic glue, right? When we resist something, that's what causes it to get stuck. And so allowing it, seeing it, witnessing it for what it is, without resisting it, without fighting it, and just standing firm in our own energy, in our own power, with love and compassion, right? But really understanding and paying attention to where these darker energies are present, either within us or within the people around us, and utilizing that divine feminine energy to transmute those darker energies. That's what we're doing right now. We are learning the art of transmutation. We are learning how to take lower vibrational energies and turn them into high vibrational energies that can feed and revitalize us. And this is a time where we are going to notice darkness everywhere that it exists. And this is where the looking at it without fear comes in, right? We can observe it without fear and resistance, right? Because that's what strengthens it. A lot of darkness is being exposed in this world right now, but a lot of darkness is also being extinguished. As it is coming up into the light, it is being transmuted. And we can rest assured, believe me, this is happening. So much is happening behind the scenes that we don't know of that is actually really good and really positive. But this darkness, as it's being extinguished, it gets louder. It gets scarier because it wants us in fear. So do not fear it. Look it straight in the face. Look at it with love. Look at it with compassion and hold those strong energetic boundaries within yourself. Do this with outer energies and inner energies, right? We embrace that with love. We allow that. I can allow an energy to exist, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to allow it to exist within me, within my field, to become part of my reality, right? I can honor it. I can embrace it as another aspect of the consciousness that we are all a part of, but I can also invite it to be transmuted by love, right? I can, instead of looking at it with fear, instead of returning negativity with negativity, I return love. And I watch as that negativity slowly dissolves, right? Because all else dissolves in the face of love. Because at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is love is really all there is. Everything else was born from love and will return to love, right? Yeah, so I like that. We're going to see a lot being exposed, you guys. Like I said, a lot being exposed. And we can see it with this new moon as well on a collective scale. A lot of that, we've got the Pluto, the Saturn, the Jupiter, right? This dance that they've been doing ever since Pluto and Saturn were conjunct in the beginning in January. And we have the next Jupiter-Pluto conjunction coming up in November, which is very exciting. There's so much intense energy going on with those planets and so much that is being exposed as far as our collective shadow goes. But we observe that, right? We don't attach to that. We don't identify with that. We don't take that on as ours, right? This is a huge theme that I've seen coming up, of the importance of understanding what is mine and what is not. Right? And not owning that which is not mine. That's part of that, what do I need to release, right? I do not need to hold on to things that don't belong to me. And most things never belong to me. Most of these lower vibrational emotions never really belonged to me. Most of these stories that I tell myself that I was caught up in at one point don't belong to me. They belong to my ancestors, right? They belong to the collective. They belong to an aspect of myself that was still growing. They don't belong to me. The truth of who I am, that does not belong to, that does not define. And we're coming back to the truth of who we are right now, and we're letting go of all that stuff that was never ours in the first place. It was not ours to carry. And I'm feeling as though, because we have this beautiful and then under that we have the Lunar Queen, she of the celestial crescent. So I love that in terms of the new moon. I wasn't going to do this, but I want to just take a peek now, because that sparked my interest there. And then I think we're going to pull a couple goddess cards to close this out, since we are feeling that divine feminine energy coming through very strongly for this moon. And so I just want to take a look at this. So this says, there is a deep feminine wisdom that recognizes the importance of cycles of rest and replenishment as essential balancing, right, to our actions of power and demonstration. Okay, that's perfect, right? The balancing, the Libra energy, all that Mars energy, right? The Pluto energy, all of that with the power and demonstration. You are asked to allow this replenishment for yourself now, trusting that you are in a cycle of creation that is about to shift into a new phase. Release and enjoy the process without having to control or force it, right? Hold your vision. Set those intentions, take stock of how far you've come, but also allow yourself to rest, right? Allow yourself to rest. That's that cycle of the divine feminine. We talk about the receptivity and the inaction, right? The masculine is the action, the feminine is the inaction. And inaction is an action, right? It's just a different type of action. So we're being invited to sink into that right now, to that space of quiet contemplation, of quiet, gentle contemplation, and really care for ourselves. With all this Cancer energy too, right, in these moonology cards, to really nurture and care for ourselves during this new moon, right? Do you need to balance your activity with more rest? Do you need to be actively creating, but from a more relaxed and allowing, rather than demanding or forceful mental state? And that's really all we can do with Mars in retrograde right now. Or is it time for you to spring into action once more? Has the time come to take a step forward? And so it's paying attention to our own wisdom, our own process, not everybody else's process. What are you being called to do right now, right? Where is your creative process? What cycle are you in? And honoring that cycle within yourself. Yes. And I love this too, because this is with the new moon, right? The quiet times are dark moon energies, the times when you will sense from your inner wisdom, your body wisdom, that you are in need of replenishing and percolation. Yes, that is the time that we are in right now. Yes. The other times, and this is what we're moving into as we move on toward the end of the month, when you feel the inner oven timer has rung and it is time to get that delicious meal on the table, your body will urge you to dance, to act, to communicate, to be bold and take steps. These are the full moon energies. So we're in that quiet space right now, moving into that full moon energy, right? But we all have our own timing as well. So honoring that universal timing and also honoring our own timing and being okay with wherever in our timing, in our own personal cycle we are right now. Your body will help you know where you are at and what you need. The flow between the dark moon and full moon and all phases in between is constant. And allowing that flow, even several times in a day or an hour, you will maximize your creativity and allow your life to manifest creative project after creative project, should you so choose. You will feel great inner harmony, wellness, and connection. This oracle is also a reminder that this feminine wisdom is not widely accepted in Western culture as yet, with its distorted view of what constitutes productive behavior. The Lunar Queen is quite radical. You will need to really believe in your own wisdoms and give yourself great support and trust your own body wisdom as you learn to operate in this more intuitive, flexible, responsive, feminine way. This oracle tells you that Lady Isis and the spiritual guidance that cares for you completely encourages and supports you in being strong and giving yourself absolute permission to rest when needed, to honor your creative cycles for greatest productivity and quality. If you have been wanting to create something or feel frustrated in your creative enterprises, the Lunar Queen Oracle also contains the message for you that something creative is within you and wanting to emerge. It is stirring in your unconscious, and soon it will be reflected more clearly back to you, and you shall be able to act, but for now have patience. There can be much inner work required before the relatively swift outer work of bringing the creative impulse into form even begins. Such is the natural creative flow at times. If you were already in the flow and want to know if this is the time to really let go and shine like the gorgeous full moon, the answer is yes. Trust and know that you are being guided by your own inner wisdoms and supported by she of the celestial crescent, the Lunar Queen, Lady Isis. Yes, a lot of that beautiful creative energy flowing as well. And really, a lot of us don't see this because we think of the creative process as the ultimate outward manifestation. But there is so much more to it, and there is so much growing and learning that we are doing that is part of that creation that will come out of that process of growth and illumination. And so if we're in that process of growth and illumination right now, we are in the creative process. It just might not look the way that we expect it to look. I think that's a really big message that's coming through for people right now. And so we're going to pull a Divine Feminine Oracle to close this out. Guidance from the Divine Feminine for this new moon in Libra. Guidance from the Divine Feminine. All right. And we got Anandamayi Ma, the joy-permeated mother. I am my own guru. I know the self that never changes. Yes, you are the oracle. You are the guru. Really tapping into, right, as we were just talking about with the Isis card, tapping into our own flow, getting to know and be in sync with our own bodies, with our own divine feminine wisdom, right? And really trusting, learning to trust that aspect of ourselves. And this is where we see that synergy of the feminine and the masculine coming through again, right? When we feel confident, right? Confidence is your key to success. When we feel the mastering of that masculine energy, that allows the feminine energy to be confident and safe and secure as well. It's those two aspects of the self, right? And the way that they play upon each other and support each other and their growth. So, yeah, sorry. It's distracting. I think it was a spam call. Yeah. I am my own guru, trusting in your own wisdom, right? Trusting in the true self. I know the self that never changes. That's the soul self. That's the self that we were talking about when we remove everything that we were not, everything that was never ours to begin with. We are left with the true self, the timeless self, the immortal self, the self that never changes. That is always pure and true and radiant. And coming back to that, trusting that and connecting to that through joy, right? That's how we connect to our higher self. That's how we connect to the creator, to all that is through that portal of joy, that portal of the heart. And then we also have Lalita, the red goddess. Playfulness is a spiritual power. Laughter leads me back to the light. There we go again, joy and laughter, you guys, bringing that in. This is a lot of really intense energies that we're navigating. So constantly bringing the joy, bringing the playfulness, right? Finding a way to have fun with this, right? That is divine as well. That is so divine. That is the ultimate expression of divinity, is joyfulness and playfulness, right? That is where we are our most fruitful and creative. And then on the bottom of the deck here, we have Inanna, the queen of heaven and earth. I have nothing to hide. I see and accept all that I am, right? That's the merging of all the aspects of self, the dark and the light, right? When we see and accept all that we are. And with that acceptance is how we transmute those lower energies, right? That place of complete acceptance. And that's what we're being challenged to do right now, is to completely love and accept ourselves. Yes, I love it. So beautiful. All right. Happy new moon, you guys. Set those intentions. Ride this wave. There's a lot of really profound and deep energies that we are navigating, but we can absolutely do this, right? We were born for this. We are ready for this. This is so much illumination that's occurring. It's an opportunity, right? We're receiving opportunities to put into practice the things that we have learned throughout this year of 2020 as we move forward. And I absolutely know that each and every one of us are totally ready for everything that is coming. As I said, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share, subscribe. If you would like a personal reading, if you would like an Ascension transit chart done, if you would like an energy healing, I do a beautiful, really powerful type of healing called Belvaspata. It works with angelic energies. It translates to angelic healing of the heart. It can really help. It was gifted to humanity to aid in this ascension process and in reconnecting us to our divinity, and with our divinity, right, our empowerment. So I highly recommend that. You can find my email to contact me for any of that stuff in the description box below, as well as links to donate if you feel so moved to donate to my channel. It is very much appreciated and helps to support all this content that I love making for you guys. I love you. I appreciate you. I will say it and say it and say it because it is so very true. Let me know how this new moon goes for you. Let me know how October is going for you. Just let me know how you're doing, period. I love to hear it. I love to know what's going on with you guys. We are all in this together. I created this channel as a way for us to create a community. This journey can feel very lonely sometimes, but you are never alone. You are so loved and so supported and so brilliant. And yes, as I sometimes do, as I was shuffling on the bottom of the deck, we got Isis. Beautiful, perfect, the goddess of magic. Yes, I love it. I love it. And in this card, it talks about Isis, right? She's the goddess of 10,000 names. She has so many faces, so many ways. She is the ultimate representation of the divine feminine in all of her power and all of her glory and all of her manifestations. And so this one is about the sacredness of her sexual energy. But it also says, and I think this is what's most important, my pleasure is a prayer that brings me back to life. When we're talking about joy, when we're talking about playfulness, when we're talking about just that enjoyment of life in all of its forms, that pleasure, right? Pleasure can mean many different things. Finding your pleasure, that is what brings you back to life. That is what brings us. That's what centers us. That's what connects us to our divinity. So find your pleasure in whatever way you can, right? This is a moon that is ruled by Venus, and Venus is also about pleasure, right? So that energy, we can incorporate that as well. Whatever it is that makes you feel good, whatever it is that makes your soul sing, don't take this too seriously, right? It is difficult sometimes, but we have to find a way to have fun with this as well. We came here to be joyful. We came here to experience pleasure. We came here to experience and fully enjoy life, right? That's what we mean when we talk about fully incarnating. So go be fully incarnated, my friends.